I think one of the best things we can do to start is to give our audience, who may not know who the illustrious Juji Mufu is, a little bit of a background.
Sure.
Who the hell are you?
Okay, I've been training for about 21 years. Started with some Taekwondo, and then I got into something called tricking, which is flips, twists, and kicks. So it's acrobatic martial arts. And I taught myself how to do that in my backyard.
I just realized that also means something else.
It does. It does. but the internet was smaller back then, and we didn't get as many corrections. The internet's much bigger now.
I didn't put one and one together. Okay, anyhow.
Yeah, but you know, doing that, I was one of the people who was doing that, who knew weight training. All professional athletes weight train. So I started entering the weight room. It's a kind of a skateboard culture, tricking is. So it's just like, you just trick, you kind of go crazy, those guys, But I was like, no, professional athletes, they weight train. So I started weight training to supplement, and then, of course, I got addicted to it.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
It's like, I love deadlifts.
Yeah.
Started reading all the articles. T-Nation is one of the first websites that I really started in, and that's where I got exposed to a lot of your stuff. Mm-hmm. So I've been following you since, like, the early 2000s.
Okay.
And then it just continues and continues. And then in my late 20s, I got into bodybuilding as well, because I got tired of training for 2.5 hours every day, and I look like a normal person. So it's like, I know how bodybuilders train, so I'm just going to start implementing what they do, because I want to look bigger too, and that worked.
Yeah,
I did it. Did a good job. But, it just ends up where I'm like, okay, I'm a large guy that's very strong, that can do all the flips and stuff and the splits, and I have a pretty good skill set. I'm just doing all of it at this point. And then I just find myself on social media making stupid videos, and it just catches. It does well, and people like the humor and the broad skill set, and I just had fun with it, and then I just took it from there as a content creator.
Yep.
Now,
how's that?
That's pretty freaking good. Now, how did you find Elite FTS?
Well, I found out Dave, reading his stuff, and then he has a company, and then I'm buying stuff. And then I'm buying stuff from Dave.
Wow.
So that's
I wish T-Nation, right?
Yeah,
so it goes back to the T-Nation thing.
Mm-hmm.
So the articles I was putting on T-Nation.
Now, I wish most of the internet would follow that trend as well. Find Dave, buy Dave's stuff.
Yeah.
No, that would be awesome.
Yeah. So what brought you out here today?
Man, I really like it here. This is one of my favorite.
It's pretty fucking cool, man.
Yeah, it is.
It's pretty cool.
This gym is one of my favorite places. Dave is one of my favorite people. What you guys do is one of my favorite things. I just love it. I just feel at home here, and I just want to come here and visit here when I can. So, just out here shooting some videos, learning some stuff. I mean, me and Dave just shot some videos of inventing new exercises. He helped me out with my deadlift. That'll be up on your platform soon.
Yep.
And yeah, I mean, I just like it here.
Zero.
Yeah.
Yeah, we invented the zero.
The zero.
Uh-huh.
So that's something to definitely watch out for.
That's
because the name's cool. Don't be a zero. Do the zero.
Mm-hmm.
Now, obviously, I've watched a lot of your videos, and I've seen you kind of struggling in the past with your deadlift, right?
Yeah.
You had mentioned that today.
Yes.
And you worked with Dave today on your deadlift, trying to figure out, what the next plan of attack for that is.
Mm-hmm.
You want to talk about that a little bit?
Yeah. So it was interesting. The deficit deadlift, for example, as an auxiliary exercise, but what Dave was having me do is find what height I was pulling a deficit from. Whichever one I pulled the best on, throw it in the garbage can. Don't do that one. You got to find the one you're the worst at for your leverages. I got really long arms, and my quads are weaker in the lift, so we found what height I should pull a deficit from for a training effect, and that's also going to carry over to my bodybuilding goals as well, because I'm a polyathlete. I do everything, not all year round. Usually I layer things in seasonally in the right times, periodize them correctly in blocks, but Dave was cool enough to know that I'm not just a power lifter, and he's like, okay, you got to do a bodybuilding show too, so you want to make your quads actually bigger, and your quads are a weak point in the deadlift, so let's do this. So we found some exercises that will not only help my my goal to get to a 700-pound deadlift, but also increase my quad size, which will increase my stage presence at a bodybuilding show. So awesome.
Yes. So I like stuff like that a lot. I think, because I'm already long-winded to begin with, I think he kind of picked up on it. The programming part of stuff like this, I love that shit, right? Because the basic training just for a power lifter, squat, bench, deadlift, it's not that complicated if that's all you do.
Yeah.
Like if that's all you got to make better and you're committed to that, it's not that complicated. You're going to have some roadblocks here and there, genetic issues and so forth. But I'm trying to say this as politely as I can. It doesn't take a whole lot of thought, to kind of put that all together. Now you start throwing in tricking, you start throwing in, the bodybuilding, all these other things that are part of that. I like the polyathlete. I've never heard of that before. I probably should have.
That was good.
But it's, it's like a dimensional athlete. You got to really think, how's this all fit? I love that shit.
Yeah.
I do. I love putting all that together to try to figure out what the solutions are, because a lot of people don't think there are. Like, oh, you can't do this. The hell you can't. You do anything. If you put it together the right way, you may not be an all-time world record holder in any of that, but that's not even the goal. So why is that even a part of the conversation?
Right.
You're probably not going to be that even if you did put 100% focus
100%
on any of these.
Yeah, and I think the really amazing part of being able to see that and see the interactions and just the high level of coaching in general is the fact that it's real coaching. And I think that's something that you don't get to see on the internet much, right? Like someone working with somebody hands-on and just dealing with whatever that person is going through, in their training, in their life, right? Like taking into those considerations in the world of internet coaches that go, oh, it's either a 1 or a 0. It doesn't really fit.
Yeah. Yeah.